So the first step is to write the limit of the function, which in this case it's when x approaches infinity. So we have to see from left to right where infinity goes and where does the limit stand. In this case, as you can see, the limit of the function when x approaches infinity is 1. Next up, we have differentiation by definition. In this type of problem, we need a formula, which in this case is a derivative of the function of x limit when h approaches 0. Then we continue in the formula by placing an f open parenthesis x plus h close parenthesis minus the function of h all over h. Now we can proceed to the actual problem. The first step is to write limit when h approaches 0. Now, each time we see an x in the original formula, we have to open parentheses and put x plus h instead. We have a square, so we put that outside the parentheses. So then we continue by putting 4 parentheses x plus h minus 1. Then we put a negative sign and copy the original equation once again. 3x squared plus 4x minus 1. All over h. Now we have to rewrite limit when h approaches 0. Now we have to open the parenthesis, which is square the first, double the product, and square the last. We rewrite, we open that, we distribute property, which will be 4x plus 4h, then minus 1, and then you have to change the sign of every single term on this trinomial. So just copy and rewrite it all down with the negative sign, which affects every single term. Everything over x once again. Now we rewrite the limit when h approaches 0. Now we have to distribute property once again this term so we can expand our equation, which would be 3x squared plus 6hx plus 3h squared. And then we rewrite everything that we previously wrote. Minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 all over h. So for this next step, you have to find the like terms which have different signs so we can cancel them, and eventually this equation will become a simplified version of it. So in this example, as you can see, we can cancel the negative 3x squared and the 3x squared. We can also cancel the 1 and negative 1, and finally the 4x and the negative 4x. Now we have to rewrite all these equations simplified, which will come out 6xh plus 3h squared plus 4h all over h. So for this next step, we have to factor. We are factoring so we can leave the h outside, and then that way it will cancel with a denominator. We have to rewrite that the limit of h approaching 0 is you isolate the h, you open parentheses, and fill in what they need to complete the original equation, all over h. As you can see, the h will cancel, and you will be left with limit of h approaching 0 is 6x plus 3h plus 4. Now you see that the h is approaching 0, so that cancels. Now you're left with 6x plus 4. And that's your final answer. Now you have to rewrite it as Derivative of function of x equals 6x plus 4. You squared your answer, and that's your final answer.